In choosing that clear communications platform, we had to invite different stakeholders to offer opinions. So trying to choose one that is just as user-friendly for a kindergarten student and parent and family, and also for our graduating seniors who may be in AP classes and managing a lot of that communication themselves. So it can't be geared only to primary. It can't be geared only to high school. And so then gathering teachers together, what platforms are we using? And then investigating what are the pros and cons of those, looking at those through the lens of the person who has to ultimately administer those. How easily do these integrate with systems we already have in place? So what interoperability exists there to pass information back and forth securely, so that I can take some of that burden of getting the right people in the right place in the communications platform off of our buildings and off of our teachers. If that interoperability piece is in there, then that information can flow back and forth in a secure environment with classes already created, buildings already created. And then looking from the teacher's perspective, this has to be easy to use. It has to be very intuitive in the user interface. It has to integrate closely with applications that we're already using. For us, we really use a single sign-on portal. We want that icon to sit there for our communications platform in the single sign-on portal, so it's right there, one click away all day long. We want to be able to attach documents. We want to be able to link to external sites. We want to be able to include a video, or all of those things that are really going to up that level of interaction. And then we want to make sure that we're using it with fidelity, that we're not just communicating that one time when the test is next week and we're not communicating. So how can we offer teachers a kind of a communications plan? Like, what are some great things to share? How often should you make contact? How can we make contact that's not just for the bad news or the upcoming test, but be proactive in our communication? Because that will boost the family engagement all along the way. So bringing all those pieces together, we looked in our district and we saw that we had the majority of teachers on board for one communications platform. They were all using a free version of that platform. And to really harness the power, we bought into the paid version at a district level subscription. And that helped bring in those pieces of interoperability to make that more accessible. And then while there was onboarding and training, it was less extensive because users already had some experience. And we had those debates internally about some other communications platforms before deciding upon the one that we've implemented. But because it was the majority of our teachers and our parents already interacting on that platform, the buy-in was already there. We have a very small English language learner population in our district, but we want to make sure we're not excluding those families. So having that built-in ability to have those translations in place when communications messages are coming through, having families able to choose their primary language is very important. So, and then of course, accessibility for maybe low or no vision, hearing impaired. Those were all features that we wanted to look at, and some of our stakeholder groups who participated didn't necessarily bring up those topics themselves, but when we bring out those topics, they're all on board, absolutely. Oh, we can't forget that, which is helpful to have all those different voices in a room kind of representing all of our stakeholders. And then, of course, price for K-12 is always a factor. We always have to look at that. Budgets are almost never growing. They're almost always a status quo or shrinking even. So the sustainability of that communication platform is important. And then working with the vendors on, what is a price increase on this product going to look like, and kind of getting something in writing that will lock in that price so that we know it's sustainable in the district and we're not, throwing time, effort, and money at something that we can't support going forward.